What up, sweet gang? It's your girl Rochelle in the building, coming to give you another live video. And here we are, coming to give you live early this morning. For those that will be rewatching this video, this is a live recorded session. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. And there will be a Q&A also in this video. And we're going to get right into the video. Good morning. Good morning to all my supporters. We're going to get started in this video, y'all. So, I'm coming to you. I have received the product that I've been waiting on, and it is the edible, excuse my nails, y'all. It's the edible rose gold. And this product, this is my first time trying this product, so this is my first time using it, and I'm going to use it with you all. And it's an airbrush coloring, so that means it's a water-based color, but it is edible. Okay, so in my pot I have a half cup of water. I'm going to use the half recipe, which is 2 cups of sugar, a half cup of water, and a half cup of light corn syrup. I already have my Granny Smith apples already cleaned for the cleaning process. And other candy apple videos, please check out my videos, or links will be in the description box below. Alright, so got my measure tablespoon, my 1 tablespoon measure, candy thermometer, other measure for my corn syrup, my silicone spoon, my 2 cups of sugar, and we're going to get right into adding these ingredients. Half cup of water already in the pot, 2 cups of sugar, add to the mixture. Half cup of corn syrup. Add right into the mixture. And we're going to add in the coloring to the candy mixture as well. And we're going to do it just like we do the metallic colors or the gold airbrushing. And just mix that in there. Okay, for those that's watching this video, when this induction cooktop comes on, there will be a little static, so please don't be alarmed. It will go away. Alright, I'm going to add in my flavor at 200 degrees, between 200 and 250 degrees. Okay, I'm using a Loran oil flavoring. Okay, adding your candy thermometer, make sure that it's clipped to the side of your pot and the tip does not touch the bottom of the pot, so it won't give off a false reading. Okay, but before I clip that all the way in there, we're going to go ahead and add in our coloring. Now, since this is a half candy mixture, I am going to add, instead of 1 tablespoon, I'm going to add a half tablespoon of coloring. Okay. Remember, with airbrush coloring, you have to use more than the normal color, gel coloring, or icing coloring, because this is a water-based coloring, so it takes a little bit more to create. went on and add that in there. And mixing it around just to see if I need to add the full tablespoon. We shall see. Now this is a different brand. That's why I'm checking to see the transparency of this coloring. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add a full tablespoon. So I'm going to add another half. So I have put in a full tablespoon, 1 tablespoon of rose gold. Then we're going to go ahead and get this started and go into our Q&A. This you cook to 300 degrees. Once it has reached to 300 degrees, go ahead and remove it, and then you can begin to start dipping. All right. Let's go into the Q&A because there's some questions I have to get past and open the floor so we can get ready. Let's go. All right. All right. So for those that's just recently joining us, this is the edible version of rose gold. I recently ordered some rose gold. One of my supporters on here stated of rose gold airbrush coloring, which I didn't know they had. So I looked it up. There was another brand that was mentioned, but I seen this one and wanted to try this one. So this is Lux Rose Gold Shimmery Airbrush Coloring. This is a different brand, new to this brand, so we're trying it out first here with you all and see what the outcome is going to be. All right. So early in the morning, huh? Of course. Okay, somebody said Hobby Lobby sells this brand. Okay. See, I don't shop at Hobby Lobby often. I just know there's a lot of brands that people work with. So I try to be versatile with you all just so y'all can see the results of these candy apples and other things that I work on. So let's go right into the Q&A. Welcome early this morning. Thank you for joining me. Let's see what we have here. Someone got theirs off of Esty. Cool. At the temperature, would you add liquor to your mixture? Great question. Finally somebody asked this question. At the temperature, when it reaches temperature, would I add liquor to the mixture? No. I would probably add liquor to this mixture if someone wanted infused candy apples, meaning adding liquor into the mixture. According to a full recipe, you can add like a 1/4 cup or 1/3 cup of liquor to your full recipe. And I would normally add it at 250 when someone requests those type of apples. The liquor will be cooked in, but you have to remember you're using a liquid substance, okay? You're using a liquid substance and you adding more liquid to the candy mixture. So you wouldn't add another liquid to your mixture at the end because you'll be thinning out the candy mixture, and you want that mixture to stick. You want it to stick to your candy. So that's the purpose of cooking down the water and cooking the sugar and stuff together to formulate a thickness to be able to cover on your candy apple. So adding liquor at the end of the mixture is just going to thin out your candy mixture. Especially, this is supposed to be hard candy. So you have to cook it in and allow it to mix in with the sugar and the water. So if you want to add it a little later in the heating process, you can add it at 280 as long as it's cooked in there. Okay? So remember, adding it too late, I would even say 260. You add it in at the end, your apples, you may risk your apples on breaking down, or the candy mixture. You're going to have a problem with getting your candy mixture to stick to your apple. All right? Great question. No white, it needs to be added to airbrush coloring or any metallic colors. Any metallic colors, which is an airbrush coloring, AMERICOLOR sheen. You do not need to add white to these particular colors because it's an airbrush coloring and it's not necessary to add white. The color is already going to come through. There's no transparency. Yeah, the alcohol cooked down, but if you add, a lot of people don't do this often, and I don't understand why a lot of people want to infuse a lot of things. You can't to get drunk. It's a enhance to the taste. So yes, it will cook down, but it will have a different flavor. It will have a different flavor to the apple. You can still add flavor and you can still add liquor to your candy mixture. You just coordinate the flavors and whatever liquor that you're using to create that particular flavor. So if you were making a lemon Ciroc candy apple and you color it yellow and you use a lemon flavor, that's coordinating the flavors. Also, what am I doing wrong with the citric acid? I'm trying to make my fruit flavors have a more Jolly Rancher flavor, but it always come out like Tylenol for children. I'm not sure what you're doing wrong. You may be adding too much of something. You said come out tasting like Tylenol for children. You might be adding too much flavor. Remember, Loran oil flavoring. If you're using Loran oil, it doesn't take that much to flavor. If you over flavoring your candy mixture, it's going to taste like medicine. Okay, depending on, especially if it's a half batch, you don't want to add 2 drams. You don't want to add 2 drams. You don't want to add a full dram. Just add a few drops to the mixture. Someone asked, do I like high sweet? If you follow my social media, if you follow me on Facebook, or Instagram. I have posted about how sweet I am, working on masterminding the a recipe for using high sweet so it don't have a funny taste to it. Um, my experience was that it had a funny taste. It still was tacky. But so far, what I've been working on, I gave a few ladies um, a recipe to use and to see if it worked. So far, it's been working good, but I am not comfortable with releasing it yet. So just stay tuned because I'm still testing out the apples. You know, I want to see how long they will last. And soon as I get done testing them out, I will come to y'all with the recipe for using high sweet. All right. Let's see. Someone asked, how long does a drunken apple last? It lasts as long as the drunken apple I treat as a airbrush coloring, because airbrush coloring is a water-based color. Sometimes it don't last long. The lifespan don't is not long as a regular gel colored apple. So um, once you're done making your apples, you let them cool down. Put them in a cool area. Make sure they're not around any humidity. Um, they last a long, you know, they last as long as you can properly store them. But they will begin to break down probably in a week or so because it's airbrush coloring or and it's liquor in the apple. But as long as you store them properly, they will last long. So if they're in the refrigerator, in a package, bag, or box, as long as you keep those packaged properly, they'll last. It's just up to how you store them. If I need to make 12 apples, what is the correct ingredients? Okay. For those that are into treats and making treats, keep in mind when you working with recipes, you can always double the recipe. You can always add to the recipe. So if I have been demonstrating 4 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of corn syrup. That is my recipe that I have originated. And if you want to add more, you can double the recipe or you can use the full recipe and the half recipe combined. So you got 4 cups of sugar, then you add 2 cups of sugar, which makes 6 cups of sugar. 1 cup of water, then you add the half cup of water, which you'll have a half a cup of water, 1.5 cup of water, and then 1.5 cup of corn syrup will give you good coverage for 12 to 15 apples, but it depends on the size of your apples. If you're working with smaller size apples, um, you could get 12 out of a full mixture. That's a full recipe of the 411. All right. You can also get um, 12 to 15 apples if you use a full recipe and a half. So I'm going to go ahead and add a few drops of flavoring. I done talked past the 200 and 250. So just a few drops to your coloring here. We'll go ahead and shut that down. I'm gonna down here. You're welcome. Someone asked, do you add it at the same time you would add regular flavor? I'm not sure what are you asking. What add what? Okay, removing your candy thermometer, making sure that you clip it on to a cup of water. Mixing that in. Some people be like, oh my God, the mixture burnt. No, it's not burnt. Okay. So also this week will begin the week of some Father Day ideas. So y'all stay tuned. I will be on later today with some treats for you. Treat ideas. Beginning of one. Alright, so this looks pretty good. And we're going to go straight into dipping. Remember, you want to make sure your apples are completely dry before dipping. And that they're wiped off. Tilting your pot. Going in. Doing a rotating turn. Let majority of your candy mixture drip off. Scrape the bottom of your pot. The bottom of your apple on the side of your pot, not the bottom of your pot. And once again, going in. I'm just going back in because I'm trying to cover the top. And that is your rose gold. I see someone said, is it just me? Or do the airbrush coloring taste something? Let me go back to that. I think you stated, is it me? But sometimes the airbrush colors make the candy tacky to eat and chew. I haven't experienced that. It depends on what the brand is. And sometimes this is not used all of the time unless you're, trying to achieve a particular color. So remember, when you're cleaning out your pot, just fill up your pot with hot water, or it don't matter if it's hot or cold. Fill it up, boil it out, and make sure it gets to a liquid state before you pour out your mixture. But not sure. Everybody have a different experience when working with the airbrush coloring. I don't always work with the airbrush coloring because I know it breaks down quicker than a gel coloring, because it's a water-based color. Airbrush is a water-based coloring. So you have to make sure that the cleaning process is correct, meaning your apples have to be cleaned and set for 2 days or even 3, just to ensure that they are properly clean before you dip in the airbrush coloring. But other than that, I have seen some people that have seen some of the metallic colors done, and they have dipped and it has worked out for them. Isn't it beautiful? All right. Any other questions before I skedaddle? But this is your edible version of the rose gold candy apple. You're welcome. Someone said, do you get the dipping fever ever when you have candy mixture left over? Um, Somebody said, bro, you a bad somebody. Do I ever get the dipping fever? I'm not understanding what you're talking about. I get the dipping fever all the time. Yeah, when something come in or something new come in. Where do I order the color from? Some people have stated that this color is at Hobby Lobby. I ordered this off of Amazon, and I will leave the link in the description box below. So all supplies and information I will leave in the description box below this video. All right. Candy strawberries. Candy strawberries only last for so long. I don't care what it is. If it was metallic, they don't last long at all. If you want them to last a little longer, stick them in the freezer until it's time for them to pick them up. That's the only suggestion that I have for you is in regards to candy strawberries. I have stuck mine in the freezer and they lasted the next day, but they do not last. They will wilt away within a matter of hours. Okay? Thank you. So I added fruit punch. It tastes like fruit punch. I ate from the spoon. All right, let's see other questions. Got tongue tied there. Any other questions? Um, okay, someone asks, Ro, can you give us some ideas of what to do with the leftover candy? Candy, maybe use as decorations or on apples. Let me see. Before this, I'm gonna heat this back up, but someone wanted me to show how to do um, the line. So I'm gonna show you on this particular apple. How do you do the lines? Whether it's with your spoon, you definitely want to thin it out, the mixture, before you go over it. I'm just getting enough on here. But go back and forth to get those lines, even though this is drying up. Flip it over. If this was a little bit more looser, it'll go over better. But that's how you get your lines for onto your candy mixture. I'm just getting rid of this fine candy here. So that's how you would get the lines on your apples, even though this is a little thick. If it was thinner, if the candy mixture was thinned out, you can get it on there real easy, and just take your mixture and just go back and forth. Even if you have an extra apple stick, take it and just go back and forth over your apple. Flip it, do the same thing on the other side, and just go back and forth. Just like that. But you will have more mixture onto your apple. Okay? And just go back and forth just like that to get your lines. So with extra candy mixture, and you want to be neat about it, I'm just showing you the method and technique. Okay? So you want to get some good straight lines. With your extra candy mixture, there's several things you can do as far as making lollipops. If you have a lollipop tray, you can make lollipops. Um, Maybe one day I'll show you how to create a lollipop after using your extra mixture. All right? This last question I will answer. This is a good question. Someone asks, I meant to ask if you were to make these to present in a store, do they last if you keep them airtight? Um, the best thing about, and this is my suggestion, my perception of when you're making homemade candy apples, we know the lifespan of candy apples. If long as they're properly stored and in a cool area or cool or in the refrigerator. They wouldn't last if they were on a shelf, because depending on the humidity and where the store owner will have them placed. But you will let the store owner know that these need to be kept refrigerated when selling. But if I was going to present my apples to the store, I would definitely have to find a recipe so they won't break down. And that's like with using the high sweet. So being that I've been doing apples for so long, and normally I put them in the refrigerator, give them to the customer, and they go with the apples, and they store them in the refrigerator or they present them on a table. But I have never presented my apples to a store to be sold as wholesale. And if I choose to do that, I would definitely have to change up the recipe so that I know for sure that these apples are not going to break down. And that's just the bottom line. That's the realest answer I can give you, because you don't know. Because a lot of times when they stay out and they in heat, they do break down because we're making them homemade, and I haven't really mastered to where they're not going to break down. So, but the recipe, as long as they're not going to break down as far as going into a storefront. Let me clear that up. But as far as making them and properly storing them so they can last longer and longer, because they do last for a long time. It's been proven, as long as they properly stored. Okay, but working so far, we're working with high sweet. It's been coming out okay, but I'm still testing that in the lab to make sure they last long. So I have some apples that's been sitting, and I want to see the outcome of how long they will last for a whole month. And you got to keep in mind, when you cooking, you basically, when you cook, when you dip apples in hot mixture, you have to understand the lifespan at some point is going to go down. So we're not trying to save the apples forever. So when you present to a store as a wholesale, the recipe definitely has to change, and you have to have a whole different outlook on the apple. You have to give an expiration date for the apples. At that point, you can't just tell the store owner, oh, they'll last as long as you keep them properly stored. There's no way I would tell the store owner that, because at that point I will have to work on the recipe and perfecting it to where I know it's gonna last at this certain amount of time. So I will have to put an expiration date on there, label the ingredients, and present this information to the store owner so that it can be properly shelved onto their and their store. You know, and different states have different requirements when doing that. So keep that in mind. All right. So I hope that answered your question. That is my time. That is my time, and I appreciate you coming in. Stay tuned later today for another video. Once again, it's your girl Ro, about to go. I'm definitely going to see y'all in the next video. For those that are new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that notification bell to let you know your girl Ro is on for the show and coming to give you life. And if you didn't get your question answered, leave it in the comment section. And let's get this video to 300 likes if you want to continue to see me do more and more videos back to back. Let's see what you all say. Let's see what you want to see. Stay tuned for the Father's Day series. I'll see you all